asked about Pubg and Tempo Storm having so much room there, and the big key thing I took away from that was the fact that I think comfortable is a great word to describe that area, because they definitely got too comfortable in day one, didn't they, John? They were getting caught out in rotations all the time. Even when we go to Miramar, they had full control of Ricardo. They were getting caught out there. It seems they're playing much more cautious now, and I'm loving that, and they're bringing that aggression towards the end of the game.
Hopefully they'll be able to, as you say, have some more presence towards the end of the game, because it's been several times now that we've seen just Tensor left alive, or just Rain, or just one of these players from Tempo be left standing. And to be fair, they have had quite an impact on Pubg, to the point where even when they're not playing, people haven't gone there. And so nobody's even looking there to think about it. So I think it's exactly right what, as you say, what Seven and what Glitter was saying on the desk, where they should be taking advantage of that. So we'll see if they're able to.
Yeah, I think just scouting around to make sure that the area surrounding them is safe before moving out, probably their best port of call here, because whenever they do play here, they do have a 360 guard of players around them. First look that pops on your screen will be towards the northeast. Yasnai being right in the center, so you see Mazexis as well as Alpha 7 up on that side. But it's a pretty comfortable rotation for most people underneath Potato Hill. And really the main bit of action that I'm looking forward towards here is always towards Omen, Trem, Kaneta for the Cow, as well as B4, who have to make their way from Nova upwards. And Trem seem to be always gatekeeping this area just outside Military Island.
You've got that conflict, but also if you take a look at the northwestern side, you've got Lazarus, you've got Loops and Cloud9, all going to have to move out to the east. They're going to have to choose north or south of the river, and then they might run into Pittsburgh Knights, even Tempo, trying to control those rotations, and if they're unlucky, Wildcard might even push a little bit further south. So we'll see how that eastward migration pans out for them.
Talking quickly about Loops here, I think they were briefly mentioned on the desk, right? But Loops is a team that yesterday, well not yesterday, but day 4, 16th place. They had a mega average coming into day 4, so it wasn't a massive hit to them. I think they were on about 15 points per game there. Now they're down to around about 11.4, I think you said, John. So they're looking still pretty good, but they could have really accelerated their lead. They're a team that's currently on 15 games, so they're playing captain with everyone else, which puts them in a great position. So funnily enough, despite coming 16th on the day 4, they've still got a really good chance to leapfrog a lot of these teams into first place. But they have after a good game today, and if day 4's any kind of indication, their morale might be a little bit down. So potentially looking for a good game here on Erangel to kind of spike themselves forward into the rest of the game today.
If they're able to do it. Speaking of teams that are on 15 games, every single team that's playing today has 15 games, the rest have 20, which means at the end of today, Blank, it's all going to be consolidated. Everybody's going to be on 20. We're going to get a full lay of the land table that's going to be really interesting to look at. And if you take a look at what they've been performing on average at the moment, B4 is the clear victor. They're sat on 13.7 average points per game, which is more than 2 more than pretty much everyone else. But there's also 2 other teams who are set to leapfrog XQ, who are currently sat at the top of the tables on 20 matches. Both Wildcard and Loops have a higher average score than they do. It's marginal, but it's there.
Well, let's talk about B4 for a second here then, in that case, because we're on Erangel. It's the best place to talk about them. They're currently 3 out of 8 Erangels going their way with the chicken dinner. See if they can bring that back today. They did manage to get the 4th one on day 4. It's partly unfortunate, but not too bad still, as we said. That's a huge chunk, just over a third of the games going their way. So they're very happy with that one indeed. We've got Loops on our screen over towards Georgia Pole crates area. This is where C9 like to hang out quite often. C9 obviously not having the best of starts to the PMPL, but this has been constantly said, and I'll reiterate it here because I have been one to be thinking, what's going on with C9? And we can say that, but we can also say there's a lot of games ahead of us going forward, John. There are a lot of games. I think we're just about hitting that 3rd mark today after this one concludes. So we've still got 2 more weeks like this, and we've seen fluctuations from teams so far. I mean, B4 is a really good example for this, going 16th and then suddenly first with a whopping points advantage towards the top of the leaderboard on day 2 to day 3. So anything can change, and really, if I'm looking at C9, I think that one thing that needs to change for them is just more of their members need to survive. Too many times we've seen Beowulf or Pyra making towards the end of games, and sure, they're doing a good job to keep them over that 3-digit threshold, about 109 points right now, which is great. It's wonderful, fantastic, but they're just scraping by at the moment.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, and they were the direct invites coming in. As Cloud9, as Tempo Storm, both of whom have had, quite frankly, at the start, a little bit lackluster performances, Blank.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what we're looking for.
But there's a lot of pressure involved there, isn't there, really? And one thing to take note is that because this is all online, you've got a lot of new teams coming into this one. And this would have been played, obviously, at an offline event, but we have to worry about the COVID situation currently. But this actually gives advantage to some of the newer teams coming into this because they don't have to worry about that LAN experience that maybe the newer teams have. Obviously, Tempo as well as Cloud9, they played on the big stage. It's scary up there. There's a lot of pressure on board. Here you're playing from the comfort of a hotel or your house, with you've got your Wi-Fi, you've got your friends around you. It's not scary. There's no flashing lights. So really, every team here, I'm thinking, is playing towards their peak, right? So this puts everyone on a level playing field for the time being.
Omen Elite currently guarding the bridge up from the eastern side, but Pittsburgh Knights seem to be making a beeline straight for that location. I think they want to try and play guard, but do they know that Omen Elite is there? Hopefully we'll be able to pick that one up. Over in the north side, Ace at the moment holding off their compound, and really the story for me at the moment, like you highlighted right at the start, Blank, is this B4 push over the bridge. Omen Elite trying to guard him, and Pittsburgh Knights stabbing them in the back currently. And Tranquilita for the cow also trying to come in. There's Omen Elite actually getting sideswiped, caught unawares. They trade 1-for-1, but the res can come through as Telly does get down.
Yeah, I mean, I think Omen Elite might have done their research, but Pittsburgh Knights coming on town regardless. They know that Pittsburgh Knights dropped down towards the bridge, but there's a nice shot from J7 taking down Angry. Now just 2 players remaining from Omen Elite here, John.
3 players on the push for Pittsburgh Knights. That's a nice Molotov in it. Limits where Nico can push to. Forces him up to the ridge line, and they're going to try and swarm on over. No one quite making it over the bridge just yet, but Nico to hold face. One goes down, but he's going to get traded out. Lickety split, and only 1 player now left up and standing for Omen Elite as they clear out these flushes. Just Juicy waiting in the wings, but really doesn't have anything to say about this. Pittsburgh Knights with a really successful backstab there.
They've been pretty lucky as well, though, because either they've calculated this, Trent Coretta for a cow tend to keep B4 on the back foot for a little while before crossing the bridge, but this gives ample time for Pittsburgh Knights to take down Omen Elite, who've moved down from most of their usual spot to the bridge side. Pittsburgh Knights in an excellent situation. We saw Carnage before, the Gandalf, you shall not pass mode on the bridge. Now he's set up in a really good position to try and do that again and stop the Balrog that is B4 from moving on this eastern side. Trent Coretta for a cow, on the other hand, want nothing to do with this. We'll move over to the western bridge, go for the safe route into the circle just behind C9 on this western side.
Hang on a minute, is Carnage subbed out for the Pittsburgh Knights? Looks like he might be. He's not playing in this one, certainly not on the boards. So,
well, he's here in spirit. He's here in spirit.
He's been teaching his teammates. That's what he's been doing there. But yeah, G3 is going to be taking up the mantle for Carnage in this round. So we'll see if he's there again next game. At the moment, a little bit of conflict coming through between Lazarus and Ace1. That's for the compound just to the southwest of Yesnaya, between them and Rosok. Nades going up to the top of the garage building. That one looped it straight on through. Nicely done. Not quite able to get the knock-in response, and they continue to pelt away through the windows. Another knock going through. That's really nice. Lazarus trying to regroup, but both of them down. There's really nothing to it.
It's something you must, on the X-ray, slow down. The brakes were pushed for just a second, the big toe, tapping it, and they're like, actually, reinforcements have not arrived. This was just a pit stop. We will be leaving now. See you later, boys.
Oh, they're going to have to find themselves a little bit of a home now. The next circle coming in, and going to go a little bit to the east here, Blank.
Yeah, now C9 making their way in. I haven't talked much about Ada, previously known as Kitsune from Team Unique. Probably one of the more consistent players on Team Unique, being a very aggressive team. I really do rate Kitsune now, Ada. So I'm still excited to see what he can do in this game. But currently C9 with 4 players, so this is a good start to them, and they have center circle. They just need to take this location, hold it down. But next circle's now on a screen, hits all the way over to the east side. There is a lot of landmass still involved though, John, so a lot of real estate still to be taken, as well as being on that Milter Power side of the map. There's a lot of area to hold down there, where the mountains are off to your west side, which means you can hold down there pretty safe for a very long time. Tempo Storm on your screen, Mazexis just making their way on past.
Just biding their time. Really the main shift that's happening at the moment is on the northern flanks. You can see well, on the map I could see, certainly. Chrome Real Betis,
Not for you guys.
being backed up by Grunter as well, trying to rotate around the northern side of Yasnaya. And Wildcard as well, leading that charge and trying to find a little bit of ground over to the east, but that's going to create a big traffic jam with Loops already ahead of them, with Alpha 7 as well already in the way as Team Solid. It's going to be a really tricky push for all of these teams.
There are a lot of teams crunching here towards Lumberyard, and there's not a lot of space in that area. I know there's a lot of landmass on this map currently, or inside the circle. Lumberyard doesn't create a lot of favourable positions for anyone, because once you're up there, at some point you will have to come down, and that's where Carnage can really come into effect, and you're worried about that situation. So if you are going up here like Pittsburgh Knights are, you're kind of banking on the circle coming down to you. So potentially they predicted this. But we'll see what does happen going forward. Mazexis, though, just on screen, we'll talk about them really quickly. Obviously getting a win on day 4. I'm really happy for them. I think at the start of the day I said I was proud of them, because obviously they've not had the best start to PMPL, but it does feel like there is a slight consistent improvement coming through from their side, slowly making their way up the ladders. So if they can continue this and make a good shout for themselves here in the PMPL, it says a lot for them going forward. Again, we're not even towards the end of the league yet, so a lot can change.
Got themselves a decent spot, as you say, so we'll be keeping an eye.
They're picking their fights. They're picking their fights, John, and that's what I like to see from them. I think before they were a little bit panicky when it came to situations where they got stuck on like very much the edges of the zone. But here they found themselves a location inside the map. So we'll check back with them later. But like you said, this is a decent position for them right now.
Alpha 7 have moved a little bit further south. That's going to allow a little bit of a shuffle up from the northern sides. And they'll be okay for now, holding it down. They're currently guarding out Cool 2, and this is unfortunate. The next zone has come in, and you are going to see it in a second. It's going to come down and head just a little bit southwest of them, which means that Cool 2 have to move through Alpha 7. But if Fran can backstab, they might be in with a luck, depending on if Alpha 7 actually stay where they are.
Yeah, Alpha 7 in a tricky situation. Obviously, Cool 2 driving in vehicles right now has a lot of noise, especially towards the end of the circles. You will hear one another. So Cool 2 know exactly where Alpha 7 are right now. They're not sure where B4 is, and currently the path they're taking is towards that southern side of the map. But Pittsburgh Knights, like we said before, they have this position towards Lumberyard. They've not had to move down from it. The circle has hit over to them. So right now, it's a really strong position in terms of intel. Anyone pushing up towards them is going to have to feel their wrath first before they even have to come down the mountain. C9 still in the center. Really right now, because there are so many compounds here, it's looking more like a Vikendi map right now. Most people are just very content to sit inside their houses, put the fire on, kick the feet up, and just put some entertainment for the time being before worrying about any of the players within the circle.
Kicking back and relaxing to watch some competitive Pubg Mobile on all the different various streaming platforms. That's what everyone does to relax, I'm assuming, right?
Oh, that's what I do. You know, I whacked on. I was watching a bit of the South Asia PMPL the other day. Really nice to see. It's actually from last year when we casted a lot of the South Asia stuff. It was pleasant to see a lot of the names over there. Obviously switched up a little bit. I think Synergy is definitely one to talk about. But right now we're in PMPL Americas. We're not talking about South Asia right now. We're talking about those lads. Yeah. You almost revved me up, and I was ready to just go. I do apologise, guys.
Either way, it's plenty of excitement to be had in every single region. For now, we're going to focus on the Americas. Chrome Real Betis making a rotation all the way around, down past the coastline on a Pubg loops. Are going to be pushed on in towards as well there. One has knocked all, they're spotted down. Hang on a minute, Ace 1, they've got a completely open field. That's loops just rattled off. Okay, they're dead. They're dead, they're done. They're out of the game. You know what that is? That's a big call from 7 on the desk. He was talking about how Ace 1, they seem to be finding a lot of confidence. I don't know if they're getting the right amount of breakfast or what, but they're coming into their days fired up at the moment. Taking out loops is a big confidence booster for them, on top of the shreddies they might have had this morning. They've had more than shreddies. I don't know what it is, but certainly some sort of magic potion it seems. And
nails, no milk.
Nails, no milk. Fantastic. Do love a good nutritious breakfast, but Wildcard lost a player as well in the midst of that, and they are down to 2 at this stage. Both Slicky and Spring are there, but they're going to have to try and rotate away. They've got themselves the Dacia, they're heading out north, away from Chrome Real Betis, away from Cool 2. But over on the western side, you've got Tempo, you've got Cloud9, and Trent Carreta Furacao. We'll see what they're able to do next time around. It's looking more and more likely that it's going to be a bunker finish. Okay, heavy Western shift.
Yeah, heavy Western shift indeed. C9 thanking their lucky Beowulf for his great leadership right here, and finally it's starting to feel like that characteristic that we definitely have for them in terms of being able to locate where that circle is going to go and find a great position with it. It's starting to come through, so this is lovely to see their full 4 members. It's starting to look like a good game, but again, there's only one team currently out here, still 15 more to go, and that's a lot of firefights are about to come through. Right now C9 are heavily split, but they're holding all the corners of the bunker right now, really just looking for that information, but you can see fights are just starting to break out now, John.
Goodness me, I'm more worried about Tempo Storm as well on the northern side, having to break the wave of everyone pushing in, but C9, they're holding their own. Only a few players there, tries to run uneven down, but he sidesteps it beautifully, able to pick up the flush as well. Kultu, Kamakropa a little bit the worse for wear. I think one of them managed to sneak in towards the bunker, so we'll see what he's able to do into the later.
Uneven's been run over more times than I can count in the PMPL, and it feels like now he's bloody sick of it. Sidesteps that vehicle like it's no problem, turns around, gets the pick. That's a double, very, very fast for him, and that's more of the uneven that I'm used to. It was almost like looking at a shadow of its former self towards the first days, and now we're starting to look at something a little bit more deadly, a little bit more dangerous, that is uneven.
If we can spot anything else out as well. Wildcard coming into party, and unfortunately for them, they're going to be greeted at the door. Cloud9 slam it shut, Wildcard eliminated.
This is what I'm talking about. This is the uneven I'm used to. Do not bring vehicles to him because he's had enough. Ace1, however, they're looking towards the big boys once again. They've got a really nice position on this ridge line, but right now, Cloud9 holding very strong. Now they understand as the circle gets smaller, they need to group back up. They need to support one another from either side. It was all good and well before getting that information. They need to play together. Wow.
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 Get taken down as well. There's a lot of open ground here now. People trying to move across. A lot of teams moving at the same time. Mezexus, they've hunkered themselves down in that little divot, and they'll try and protect that cone of fire. Ace1 all grouped up as well around one of the entrances. Grunto, they have. Oh, they spotted out Lazarus, but why don't you get the spray down there for Bucky? We'll reload for attempt number 2, but again, not going to be able to hit it.
That is B4 though, backstabbing Ace1 right that nice position. Had about 18 cars ready to sell them off one at a time. Grand Theft Auto coming through from them, but now B4, they spotted those cars, they want them for themselves. Team Solid first, Tempo right now. Tempo got a nice little split in this compound, fully shutting out Team Solid for the time being.
Difficult push to make, they know where they are, it's just open ground every single direction, so Team Solid going to have a real tough time pushing past. There still is the secret agent in the bunker. You got Yuan from Kultu, and Yuan G, I suppose, from Kultu, who is just hidden away, and we'll see if he's able to have an effect onto Cloud9, onto one of those teams on the eastern side.
We'll wait and see what happens over there. Right now, like you said, Tempo Storm, they're currently in a situation where it's like, well, how many smokes do you have, Team Solid? Because let me tell you now, you're going to need a lot of them. B4, they take a knockback from a nice nade placed by Ace1, and the circle just hits towards the southern side. Now C9, they don't have to move. Like you said before, the snake in the grass. Yuang, he will be the danger zone here for C9 and need to make this rotation safely. As you can see, is a big road just moving straight through the middle. That's going to split up the circle nicely here, and anyone trying to cross that is going to be in dire straits. So really, C9's going to have to make a decision right now. Do they want to go to the western side of the circle, try and hold on the ridge line that's over there, or go down to the south and try and take bunkers towards the loot crates?
Oh dear, Mezexus have been spotted there, all in that little shack, and I think the one knows exactly where they are. Not sure if they're going to be wanting to push in. Of course, it is open ground and a lot of fire lines there to be contended with. Cloud9 has spotted out B4 as well. Masters at the edge of the circle, but this one probably more tricky than most. Team Solid trying to roll up close. And in fact, they're not going to find too much welcome here. Lovely nades being thrown in. B4 holding it down. One player down. They're going to zone them away from the back of that rock. They're ticking away, they're out in the blue zone, and this one's going to hurt. It's going to be difficult to get them back up, and even more difficult to get them back in. B4, they're going for that res, and they're opting to stick around.
Yeah, they're massively preoccupied by Team Solid right now. Look, really, they're just looking for kill points because there's no way that they survive this. And a lovely play from C9. They decide not to move down south towards the circle. They're just going to get everyone removed from behind them so they know that this side on the circle is safe. And then they can play on the eastern side of the map very easily. Really, their big contenders truly are Pittsburgh Knights coming up from the southern side of the map. C9 now just about deciding to move. Pyra hitting up the vehicle, going to try and make a defilade towards further inside this circle, because if it does go south again, they're in a tricky spot.
B4 somehow managed to wipe Team Solid, and also Max escaped. Maxon's in, he's into the next zone as well, and Ace going to have to contend with that to push on through. We'll see if they're able to come through as Pedro does go down. GG goes down. They're going to have a difficult Sally fourth. The next circle really defined by this massive central road here. Max still want to get out. Ace are really not having luck here.
No. Uneven, and C9 collectively removing everything from the northern side of the map here. Just Maxon survives the onslaught. There was the shooting grounds for C9 in that time there. So Maxon just wants to stay alive as long as possible, has the smokes to do it. But look, on this western side of the map is where most of the action comes down. As the next circle does come through, if it hits on the west side, things are going to start to look really bad for Pittsburgh Knights as well as C9.
It's the North American Big Three who are still here. Tempo Storm, 4 players. Cloud9, 4 players. Pittsburgh Knights, 4 players. This is what we wanted to see from them, and the next circle is going to fall in favour of Tempo. They've got to guard out on that western edge, but they should be pretty secure.
Yeah, that is a lovely little circle for Tempo. Now they can just hold in this compound. It's going to be really hard for anyone else to break through. C9 have an even tougher job because the circle's right at their backs. That's going to hit them hard, and they have to make decisions soon. Do they cross the road where you have Darius with sightlines on them, Tempo have sightlines on them? Really, they've got to take a gamble here. They're sending Pyra across in as the intel gatherer. See how far he can get into the circle. Gets quite far indeed.
They're going to jump out as well, so they've managed to secure themselves a little bit of a position, but they still have a little bit further to go. You can see Pyra just jumping out of the vehicle there on the minimap in the top right. On the hillside they have it, and Zexus are going to have to make a similar push, and actually I think they've been spotted out. He gets bumped up and Tempo spotted down the hill. Cloud9, 3 of them already down on the floor. Just 1 player left standing for them. It's Pyra, the original scout, but Lazarus have eyes on the Zexus as well. This is a 4-way fight going on right now, Blank. Pittsburgh Knights starting to mount up as well, maybe looking to become a 5th.
Yeah, and even still in this one, so Pyra might just be able to lift him back up again. It would be a big shame for C9 if they go out now in 8th. They want to at least make it to 7th or 4th, around that area with the position they had at the beginning. But a huge nade comes through from Mazexis. Mazexis not done as of yet. Now Pyra needs to start doing something big, but he's shown himself. The smokes are still down, and the vehicles around him, I'm not sure if they're exploded as of yet, so they could be really bad. He will just have to let Kitsune Ada die here. Very, very upsetting, but at least he has the dynamic duo in Uneven and Pyra here. The nades coming through once again. Mazexis start to make their push.
Go to the Pittsburgh Knights, though. You can see them ready and waiting in the wings. Uneven down again, and it's Pyra last standing for Cloud9 once more. He's been just throwing them on his back and trying to pull them into this next circle, but it might just prove to be too much, and there it goes. The explosion is what does it. Mazexis able to wipe Cloud9.
7th, it's not too bad for them with 7 kills on board as well. That's a decent point lead into Erangel. And Jagger there, oh my lord, the machine gun coming through, massive, just removing Tempo Storm from that really good position. They're starting to look worse for wear.
You've got Cremreal Betis as well on the southwestern side, still 4 players strong. Pittsburgh Knights will not stop. J7 down, but not out, and they'll continue to try and push on through. They have got a really nice foothold. They've got a lot of control over this high ground as well.
Yeah, Pittsburgh Knights with such good control over the southern side of the map towards the east.